Greetings from home. I am so overjoyed to be with you these days, to share with you what is coming for humanity, where you have taken this beautiful game of pretending to be a human, what you have worked with each on an individual level as well as a collective level. We have just returned, of course, from a large gathering where we brought the E family together for their next set of instructions, their next ideas of what is coming and what part they can play. But of course, all of you were not there. All of you were not in attendance. It would have been a very busy place if you had. So what we do today is we will recap. We will share with you some of the more important pieces of why you are here as a collective of humanity. First of all, you are part of a rather large family. Many of you know that. You feel that deep within your heart. You may have different words that you use to call upon it, depending on who you awoken to, what books you are reading, where you are following. It makes no difference, dear ones. It is the feeling of family that we want you to grasp. Now, we also understand that many of you have very negative images of what family is. You may have had a difficult experience around what we call family. But the reality is you are all part of each other. And when you vibrate in similar ranges, you gather in those ranges. Well, this vibrational range of the family of E, the family of E vibration, or what we have called the E family. The beautiful part about that is we brought in recently all 7 clans, including the final one, harmony. All about harmony on planet Earth. And we were able to share with all of them in the room what those 7 clans are and why you brought one of those rays of light to planet Earth. And although all of you deal with all 7 rays, the beautiful part about it is you have your resonance with which you vibrate, with which you resonate, with which you have a harmonic imprint and can form harmonies. These are the times, dear ones, that many of you have chosen to be here specifically. It was very important for many of you to be here at this exact junction of time and space in order to carry the message, in order to be here, sometimes just as a critical mass. Some of you will stand and speak your truth very loudly. Some of you will write books. Some of you will make movies. Some of you will teach in various different ways. But even those of you who do not speak, who do not seem to carry it, you hold the heart of the collective vibration of humanity in this family. And that is beautiful. The family of E vibration is gathered on Earth in massive numbers, much more so than ever before. The last time that you were here in large numbers was around the signing of the Magna Carta some almost 800 years ago. And here you are gathered again many times over those numbers. We have recently been asked how many are here from the E family, how many are on planet Earth, and we tell you there's slightly over 2 million of you on this planet. Not all of you call yourselves light workers, not all of yourselves believe in the same way exactly, but all of you have a deep inner knowing and are part of a collective vibration of humanity which is now grasping all of everything that takes place on planet Earth. You've had many times on your planet, many opportunities for you to be here, to make a difference in different ways. You felt the resistance of those around you. Some of you have brought in a very bright message in very dark times, making it very difficult for you to stay true to your message and the ray of light that you brought from home. Some of you have brought things that do not seem to fit on Earth. You seem too far ahead of the game in order to do it. But trust, now that you are making these energetic connections with the rest of the E family, you are forming a grounding of the collective vibration of all of humanity, which is very powerful. And even though many of your societies are built on societal rules, sometimes just in gatherings of groups, you have rules as well. Oh, yes, you do. You may not state them, they may not be written, but you all have these rules about how things work. And it used to be that a certain echelon of people at the top could control everything that was going on. Now, whether you call these powerful people, whether you call these the doers, the beers, the movers and the shakers, it makes no difference. Many times these have been your political leaders, your world leaders sometimes, that knew that somehow their voice counted much more than every other voice on planet Earth. That is changing. And that is the beautiful part of the E family that we want all of you to know. Whether you resonate with this or not, whether you have called yourself a member of the E family, there are many here that are awakening from the dream and looking for exactly why they came and remembering their first incarnations in this density on planet Earth. Now is a very magical time. You are making more of a difference than you could ever know. Now, is it important that you be on the right side of everything? Is it important that you be, since you are a part of this collective that's grounding this energy, does that mean that your voice is heard louder than others in the collective? Well, dear ones, that has to do with your ability to ground the light. And that is quite different than the way it has been in the past. It has always been the person at the top, whether they were elected, whether they were hired, whether they bought their way in, or whether they simply were noticed for their leadership abilities. Whatever took place, it's changing. And it's changing rapidly on planet Earth. There will be repercussions of this change that you will feel over the next 3 years as many things rearrange themselves. If you look at all of your collective structures, whether you call it a business, whether you call it a corporation, whether you call it a religion, whether you call it simply a group of people or a collective in some way that you work with, they have been built on structures of communication. Those structures are now changing. We tell you, it is not possible to hold secrets in the ways that you once have. You're now living very clearly in the times of no more secrets. Now, what difference does it make whether a gentleman in China is taking to the street to speak his mind and he pulls out his cell phone and he videos everything that's going on around him? Well, that person just grounded a lot of energy, especially if he put it up someplace where everybody can see it. He has now become, because of his actions, because of his intent to share openly with the world, has become a louder voice than everyone else in the collective for that moment. These are the opportunities that we ask you all to be a part of. Not necessarily that you need to be out there with your cell phones looking for things to videotape, but when you see something or when you feel a part that you have a piece of, when you understand that there's an injustice taking place on a large scale, and your voice can make a difference, these are the times to speak. Now, you may say, well, I'm only a small person. I only have a small Facebook page. I only work with Twitter, and I'm limited to 140 characters. The reality is, you are connected to very important people all the way around. Even if you are a hermit, even if you do not have many of what you would call social friends or connections in these ways, even if you do not consider yourself a teacher, but simply an energy holder, now is the time to awaken from the dream. Now is the time to start speaking and honing and sharpening your own truth. Because this is what the E family is all about, dear ones. The inner knowing of the rights of the Spirit as they have an incarnation on planet Earth. These are the things that will now take you all to the next level of your existence in the dance in density, in your physical bubbles of biology. There are many changes taking place. even to the area that you call physics. There's many things that are starting to shift, and yes, some of them will show up, be considered to be new discoveries. Well, some of them aren't new. Some of them are new energies, not new discoveries. But the truth of the matter is, you are connected to other beings of this family in a very large way. And if you simply hold your joy, hold your passion, hold your inner truth of what you know to be important as a spirit pretending to be a human, playing this beautiful game on this beautiful planet, now is the time to bring that forward. Some of you have books in you that have been hiding for lack of confidence, lack of wisdom, lack of knowledge, you think. But you forget you are all channels. You all have the capabilities of tapping into the wisdom of the ages, if only you trust your inner voice. If only you learn to exercise these muscles in a way that you can call upon them when needed. We tell you, dear ones, there are many things shifting on your planet. And the Eve family is being called into action in a very big way. What does the E stand for? We have been asked that many times. There are too many meanings for us to list them all. But if you simply use the word as empowerment, use the word as evolution, you will understand what the E family is all about. And these are the times that you had all agreed to meet here. If ever you got this planet to a place where you could reach these high vibrational levels and have an actual opportunity to step into the next dimensional level without leaving the physical bodies, you all wanted to be here for that. So many of you planned ways in. Some of you didn't plan the best at all. Some of you just knew that if you jumped in here and chose this set of parents, you would end up at the right place at the right time, even if Mom and Dad never understood you. Well, you made it. You've done well. We thank you for all the courage that you've shown to bring this energy in and to be misunderstood many times, not being able to completely describe yourself or completely be spontaneous in every moment for fear of what the reactions would be. Well, you've made it. Now you have a deeper connection that all of you will start to understand. We have mentioned many times, dear ones, that you live in a multidimensional experience. What you see in front of you. When you look in the mirror every morning and you comb your hair and you think that is the person you see, well, obviously you know that it is a reverse image because you're looking in a mirror. Although most of you don't actually see yourselves that way. Most of you perceive yourselves in the reverse image because it is the way that you constantly see yourselves. So what we tell you is we're going to start showing you the real you. Sometimes even when you look in the mirror, not that we're going to reverse the image, but we will start removing many of the layers that you have placed here to distract, to disuse in some way, and to diffuse the energy that sometimes is very difficult for some of you to handle. Now is an opportunity to step through the dimensional realities. You have basically hidden much of your imperfection, much of your perfection in some ways, in these different dimensions of time and space. And we tell you there is not just one of you walking around. There are many. Each one of those holds a little bit of the perfection of your spirit. And since you are on the planet of imperfection, none of you can hold all of it, but all of you can hold a small piece of it. In the days ahead, and particularly over the next 5 to 6 months, we will share with you the thinning of this veil that has separated these dimensions for you. You will start to see things in a new way. You may not understand why. Some of you will start to feel energy in a new way, not quite knowing what it is. Some of you will actually be thrown off center somewhat, not knowing how to handle this exactly or exactly what it is. But you're on target, dear ones. You're on target for an entirely new experience on this planet. It is magical for us to share this with you. There will be times when you will start running into the other yous. Very confusing at first, but you will pick up things. You will pick up knowledge. You will pick up wisdom that you, as the collective, have gained in many of your incarnations throughout the universe. All of you step forward very clearly with the opportunity for you to step into this new experience. Watch for it. But most important, connect with your heart. These are the times, dear ones, where you are learning to think with your heart and feel with your head. You have always tried to match your experience to what you thought. And now we're going to ask you to match your experience with what you feel. It will save you a lot of time. The evolution of humanity is moving at an astounding rate due to the fact that so many of the E family are awakening from the dream and taking their place. There is a collective of humanity, dear ones. And if you have something new that is coming on this planet, it will not ground on this planet until it reaches into that collective, until it is accepted in that collective. So that's what we ask you to do. Make those connections. Whether you do them energetically, whether you do them over Facebook or Twitter, whether you do them consciously by connecting to people and speaking, whether you step into your teaching, you write your own book, you step toward doing your own movie, whatever it is, these are the times to flex those muscles, to start building those connections. Because in the future, dear ones, you will need those connections more than you could possibly know. And they will be very helpful for you to ground and move in these ways. One of the messages that we gave recently at the Lightworker reunion was to talk about the bacteria in your own physical body. The microbes and the bacteria that are in your body actually rule your life in many ways. You are in harmony with it most of the time. But we wish to bring an analogy that help you to understand a little bit of your relationship to those levels and your relationship to the higher levels as well. Or you consider microbes and bacteria to be small parts of your experience because they are so tiny. They are so small. But they have one gift, dear ones, which is really unique. They are in constant communication with each other every moment. There is no moment where the microbes in your body are not talking together. Does that mean that they all agree? No, not by a long shot. They all have different intents. They have all brought something unique. They all have different roles, but they are in communication with each other at every moment. And they all vote. They all have a vote and a say-so on what's going to happen in your body. And even if one says this is going to happen and all the rest of them say, no, that's not going to happen, they hold their vote. They hold their truth. And then when the collective reaches a critical mass, and enough of them hold that same truth, it appears in your physical body that fast. That's how the beauty of this happens. You also have other illustrations that we can clearly use. The ants. The ants are in a collective communication. They send out runners to search for new paths to food, new paths to the things that they need. And if that runner is intercepted or dies along the way, everyone knows it instantly. That is the communication that all humans can start moving toward. You already have it inside your body with the bacteria, And the microbes that work together, even though they sometimes disagree, they sometimes have different viewpoints, they have learned to communicate. And when the collective reaches a critical mass, change happens that quickly. Humans are the same. That is the beauty of what you now have in front of you. That is why we brought in the seventh clan, the clan of harmony, those of you who can naturally make harmony around you. Some of you might have considered yourself to be peacemakers. Some of you may have placed yourself in a family where finding that harmony and holding that balance was critical to the family evolution as well. Some of you have put yourselves in even difficult situations so that you could use your gifts of harmony. Now is the time, even if you are not from that clan, for every one of you to look at how well you are harmonizing with the other yous around you. Look at the connections. We've said this many times that your success on planet Earth will now have to do with how well you can acknowledge the ways that you are alike instead of the ways that you are separate. This is a huge change. This has a huge adjustment of the ego itself and many of the other parts of your typical ways of doing business as humans. Now are the times, dear ones. Hold your truth. Hold it in such a way that another truth can stand right next to you, and even though they disagree, both of them can shine and share their votes. These are the ways of the future. These are the ways of the microbes. These are the ways that the ants work together in the highest forms. All of you are gaining these inner communications. You have much of you have called them psychic abilities. They will not be called psychic any longer because they are integrated so far with all of you, you will lose these strange words that put odd flavors on something that every human has. These are the greatest times on planet Earth. You originally were not going to be here. Much of the energy of planet Earth would be changing very rapidly right now, but you stayed. You're here. Now's the time to remember why and connect in those areas. Connecting and sharing your energy does not mean losing your uniqueness. That is critical. You have a vote in every aspect of humanity. When your vote does not count, it is because you are keeping your mouth closed. You're not speaking it. You're not holding your own truth. These are the times to start working with exactly that. And during these transitionary months of moving into this whole new energy and this entire new world that lies in front of you, you can create magic right now. It may not show up in your field in this very instant, but you can place it in the timeline and walk right into it. We could not be prouder of you, dear ones. We know most of you by your spirit name. We know most of you by what you are called when you come home. To some of you, it will be important to remember those names. For others, simply the knowledge that you are a greater being than you ever knew. You are revered here at home. And you are in the perfect place to make a difference on planet Earth in this evolution which is taking place. The family of E is grounded. They are in place to hold the energy, to carry in the new world, to bring an entirely new hologram of light into effect on planet Earth. And we, dear ones, are applauding every move that you make. It is with the greatest of honor that we ask you to treat each other with respect. Harmonize every chance you get. Know that it's a beautiful new game you're playing. And play well together. Espavo.
Aspavo. Celebrate today. Celebrate who you are at this very moment, and know that it is just the beginning of a wonderful path in front of you.